All right. So I wanted to talk about these two subjects because I think these are two things that we struggle both as new players and old, right? Um, when it comes to golding, there's really only two things that you can do. You can either spam a mob for their gold over and over, depending on repop rates and whatnot. But that gets boring fast. And then there's questing. You can do with NPCs that give you a random quest when you go to an area. You get the thing, you give them the thing, they give you gold, right? And depending on what kind of a quest it is, you'll be able to do them every repop or every reboot, right? So it's not as efficient as golding, but it's a bit more thrilling if you don't do them frequently. And then you have PK, right? And the thing about PK is that there is no benefit. Well, I say benefit, but that's a big word. But you don't gain anything from having a PK or even PKing other people. The honor system is not something that you can use. There's no angle there because honor is very abusable, because you can just use ults in order to get more honor and thus getting more things for pretty much free. So you can't really do that. And when you PK another person, the things that they drop are only things that you can use on PKers. So you can only get more PK stuff in order to PK. So it's not like you can get like an iHawk or a Genesis, unless they're PK tagged, right? But one of the benefits that you do get from owning a PKer is that they are much better tanks and much better damage dealers. Well, at least before Prestige. I'm not sure of the numbers now. But now Prestige becomes even more attractive because with a PKer, you run the chance that there's a random dude that PKs you while you're tanking or while you're dealing damage at a mob, right? At a run or during a run, right? So there's nothing that really pushes you to get a PK, right? Now then you have like the other angle where like you have those big boys that are PKers that are impossible to kill or extremely hard to kill, that can nuke you with like I don't know, they say hi and you just blow up because they're so strong. So that really dissuades people from trying PK, myself included. But I did have an idea on how to introduce both things into one event. And this is a monthly global event, a cataclysmic one at that. But the way that the way that this works is every month you would have something happen around the realms, right? And the mechanics of this event would imply that you would do both PKing, and while doing all these other things in the event, you get gold, right? So it makes it attractive to try these things. But in essence, like you need like three things, like the rules of thumb, I guess you would say. You need three important points, which is groups of three, because that keeps things small, and strategies are much more dynamic when the groups are small because you need to try different things. And since this only happens once a month, it'll take a long time for them to devise the perfect plan, and then you just tweak one thing and completely destroy their hopes and dreams, which is a big plus. And then you need an area within an area. I'm talking like in the sense of like what it says there, Gauntlet and Sentinel, where you can't get into the Gauntlet unless you go through the Sentinel, right? And this is important because in the Gauntlet area, PK is turned off. But in the Sentinel area, PK is turned on. So you have to battle through not only whatever mobs you put in there, but also the PKers in order to get to the Gauntlet area where the big boy is going to be standing for you to kill him for that juicy glory. But then you need an incentive, right? Because if you don't put an incentive, people will just skip the quest and then just try the next one, because in the next one there's no PK, right? And then you can just do the quest as per usual and get your glory that way. But if you put a gold incentive inside the Sentinel area, then people are much more eager to try PK because they get gold out of it, right? And this is just a monthly event, so you can just test the waters in that regard. But the way that this works is you would get a map, not necessarily that looks like this one, but this is just for the example, where in the green area is where your big boy is, right? Like the main quest mob, like let's say Seth's older brother, right? And you have to go over there to kill him. But in order to get through In order to get to the big boy, you have to go through the casual ones, right? And those casual ones, you can have them drop gold inherently, sure. That would be one way of doing it, but that's no different than just farming a mob. You might as well just do that, right? Because then you're in charge of your own income. But one of the things that they do drop is an item. And this item could be worth a lot of gold. And this, if you collect enough of them, or if you collect them, you can go deliver them to the main quest giver in Darkhaven, whether that be an immortal or an NPC, and you would get gold that way. I have a Word document in the description below that you can take a look at. It's a bit more descriptive, but a less TLDR than what I'm giving you right now. But the idea behind this is to give them an incentive to PK, because if you PK somebody, the only thing that they drop is that one item. They don't drop any weapons, any armor, nothing. It's just that one item. And if you want, you can keep the honor system rolling. Maybe there's something that we can figure out in the future based on that. But with this incentive, people will want to PK because they get that thing that gives them gold, right? Collect enough of them. Sure, if you're greedy, you keep on PKing because you're killing everybody, right? You can be greedy and continue to collect them, but then if you die, you lose them all, right? So the idea would be for them to leave in order to deliver, come back, and then continue to PK that way if they want to. But once you're in the green area, you no longer have to PK. So those that don't really want to can just either skip it or just muscle their way through into the green area where they're PK free, and then they continue to defeat the big boy in order to get that juicy glory. But it's just an idea. It's much better explained in the document, so I do exhortar, I don't know how you say that in English. I do wish you would go through it, because it's the points are very clear. It's very blunt, very straightforward. And I can't speak English properly, so I do exhort you to give it a go. But that's pretty much it. It's just to help us get into PK, because what we lack is an introduction to it, and I feel like this is a good angle for it. Might not be the solution, but at least it's an angle. Alright, that's it.